Good evening, all the candidates of UPHSC and RPSC. We have both the candidates today here in our meeting. I am here to reveal some secrets which generally hidden inside the interview room, and it is only discussed by the members of the commission. So those secrets I'll try to reveal here, and you can also clarify your doubts if any one of you are appearing for the first time in UPHSC, or if you have any other doubts, you may clarify from me. Basically, the first question that arises in the mind, what will I do once I qualify the written exam? What should be the first step? So likewise, there are various questions. Today, I have received several questions in my WhatsApp when I post the message for the meeting. The first question that was asked is, sir, what is the purpose of interview? Why actually they conduct the interview? See, when I want to hire a servant in my home or a maid servant, don't you think I should meet him or her personally? And I should inquire about his character, because I want to keep him or her in my family. He is going to be with me for hours together. So don't you think I should meet personally before doing a final hiring? It is exactly like what is done in the interviews, job interviews, because they are going to keep you permanently with them. They are going to hire you. That's why a personal inquiry is must. Where it is exactly like you might ask several questions to your servant. How loyal he is, how honest he is. You must make sure that he will not steal anything from your house while he is doing your household works. He will do all your job loyally. What kind of attitude he has, positive, negative, how short-tempered he has. So all these qualities you yourself, you try to search out. Everyone sitting in this meeting is an interviewer. Sometime in our life, everybody has done some interview. I will give you another example. When you are traveling in a train and you meet several unknown personnel in your compartment or maybe in the flight, and they don't know anything about each other, and you start interacting with each other. What type of question do you ask to each other? First, you ask, where do you belong? What do you do? What are the things you like? So likewise, when two unknown people meet each other and when they try to interact, what kind of talk they are going to do? There should be some area on which they are going to talk. If you are an educator or educationist, or if you are a PhD scholar, you may talk about your own specialization. The one to whom you are talking may be a doctor or a pharmacist. He will be talking about his profession and you will get bored. So the interaction will only be interesting when both the people are from the same area. You are also an English literature student, and the one to whom you are talking, he is also related to English professor or any profession of education. So when the two similar profession meets together, they create a creative kind of interaction. And this is what is done in the interview. You and interviewer, definitely they meet for the first time. So what kind of talk they are going to do? There should be an area of specialization. There should be one area where they should talk about. So obviously they are going to talk about your specialization. What is your specialization? Because it's an official talk. There is a difference between unofficial and an official talk. So in official talk, the interaction is not two-way, rather it's a one-way interaction. Rather, they have the power, they have the right, they have Foucauldian power to ask you the questions, and you are supposed to give a formal answer to the questions as a candidate. So this is the first answer to the question, that why at all interview is required and how you are supposed to behave. So you might have understood that what kind of qualities are going to be checked in the interview. You put yourself in the shoes of an interviewer and try to find out what kind of candidate would you like to select. Okay, the second question that I came to know was how the assessment of any candidate is done. Okay. I would like to reply in a diplomatic way here because this is a quite secret thing which is not generally revealed to the candidates. But I'll give you a hint, and I am very sure you'll be able to understand what does it mean. See, the competition is a race. The interview is a race. And the judgment of a candidate is not solely depends upon the candidate's performance. Rather, it is to be judged in a comparative performance of other candidates. How you perform will matter definitely, but in comparison to your competitors, how you perform, accordingly you will be awarded the marks, because it's a competition, and as I said, it's a race. According to you, you might have performed wonderfully, but there may be some candidate who is more marvelous, more wonderful than you. So yeah, I'll take all the questions. Please note down all your questions. Let me finish my answers. Okay. So I'll take all your questions one by one, but let me finish my answers first. Okay. Keep noting your question, otherwise you will forget. So what happens? The commission fix a strategy for awarding the marks to every candidate. Like UPHSC is conducting interview for 30 marks. So probably they will be creating categories, category of marks. Like category A will be from 25 to 27 or 24 to 27, category B 20 to 23, category C 17 to 20, category D 14 to 17. Like that, they will create 4 or 5 categories. And once the candidate is performing and his interview is over, he will be kept in one category. No marks will be given to the candidate. Rather, he will be kept in one particular category. And the commission members will write A plus or A minus or neutral A. A plus means at the above level of that range. A minus means the below level of the range, and neutral level of range. Likewise, they will keep their own codings so that when they will be assessing other candidates, they will be able to make a comparative study between the two. And simultaneously, if the commission is conducting 10 interviews in a day, at the end of the day, they will be able to compare all the 10 candidates together. And then at the end of the day, they will decide how many marks are to be given to which candidate. So it is not only your performance, rather it's the performance of all the candidates that matters for the award of marks. The next question that I was asked, why they keep a range of 12 to 27 or 13 to 27. There is a reason, because as you know that you all go to appear for the interview after qualifying the written exam, and the one who gets a qualifying marks obviously should not be judged below 12, below 10. Otherwise, it will show that there was some fraud in the written exam. So that authentication of the written exam has to be maintained. That's why the lower limit is kept generally 12 or 13 marks. And why the maximum limit? Because it is possible that the interview continues for days together, maybe 15 days or a month together. It is possible that if a commission feels that this X candidate is an outstanding candidate, he should be given 30. And on the 4th day, they realize that no, we were wrong. Y candidate is more powerful, more can be given more marks than X, but they have already given 30 marks to candidate X, and the total interview is of 30 marks only. That's why they keep a range that they won't be giving more than 27 marks to any candidate. But yes, if any exceptional candidate appears in front of the commission, definitely they will be giving 28, 29, even 30. Generally, they don't give 100% marks. There is also a reason behind that. Because if they give 30 marks, I mean 100% marks, that shows that the interviewee is better than interviewer, or at least equivalent to interviewer. And you may ask that if interviewer is interviewed by another interviewer, what marks he will be getting? One interviewer is interviewed by another interviewer. What kind of mark he'll be getting? He must be expert. So obviously he should be given 30 out of 30. So 30 out of 30 cannot be given to a candidate. That's one reason why the range is set up to 26, 27. Maximum it can be 28, but it depends upon the view of the commission. So this is how the marks are given. Okay, the next question was, what personality traits are they are looking for? Actually, what they're going to check. So I have already given the example of a servant or a maid servant. So you might have realized that they are going to check the honesty of the candidate. How much honest you are, how much loyal you are, how much punctual you are. Are you able to fit in the job category in which you are going to apply for the interview? The moment you enter inside the interview room, until you get out of the room, your every movement, your every action, your every gesture is monitored. Even when you are sitting outside the room, there are the peons of the commission. They keep on looking and they keep on giving feedback to the commission members about every candidate. So you have to be very, very alert, and you have to be very, very gentle in your behavior when you have approached the interview center. Because see, you might be very wonderful in your knowledge. You might be a very great communicator. You might be a very great educator. But what you are going to do in those 30 minutes will decide your fate. You might have seen many cricketers who have a great experience in cricket, but if they are not able to perform in one particular match, so they are flop in the match. So this interview is a kind of match for you. You are going to perform for 30 minutes, and those 30 minutes will decide how much marks you are going to get. And every time we perform, our performance differs. Like if I ask a question from any one of you, like Rajneesh or Khushbu or Prashant, your answer, whatever the answer you give today, might differ tomorrow. Because our presence of mind, our common sense keep on fluctuating up and down. Sometimes we feel very energetic, sometimes we feel very low. So what kind of a state do you have when you appear for the interview? How much confident you are? That's going to be very, very important. The next question that was asked to me, what kind of question they are going to ask? So I can say that interview is a kind of self-directing thing. You need to learn some strategy through which you can direct your interview yourself. You can decide what question is to be asked. Whatever you say, they will take out the question from your own answer. Your every word should be measured before it is uttered. If from your mouth the word post-colonialism has come out, definitely they are going to pick up this word for the next question. If from your mouth you say something about psychoanalysis, that's definitely they're going to ask questions from psychoanalysis. And mostly the question will be asked from your background. Like it's exactly like a relationship between a customer and a shopkeeper. The commission is a customer and you are a shopkeeper. What kind of product do you keep with yourself? Are you a shopkeeper of vegetable, utensils, stationery, fruits? What kind of product do you have? The same product is going to be bought by the commission. In a stationery shop, the interviewer will never look for a vegetable. So if you are a PhD candidate, you have completed your PhD in a specific area, in some specialization you have, definitely they are going to fire minimum 5 to 6 questions on to check how authentic you are, how honestly you have achieved your PhD degree, how much research interest do you have, how much creative you are. There are few candidates who have not qualified PhD, who have not done PhD. They are only net qualified. The shop is very small. Those who have done PhD, their shop is large. That means you are giving more chances to ask the question to the interviewer. There are few candidates who are PhD as well as net. Again, the shop is more large, and the customer has choice to buy multiple things. It's exactly like a mall. The candidates who have done PhD, net, get everything, they are like a mall. The customer has the choice to take anything out of your shop. But yes, you will be given credit for that. You will be given more marks for that if you reply to those questions asked to you, because you possess more knowledge than the other candidates. So you may ask that those who have qualified only net, they will be given less marks. No, it's not like that. They have their own kind of shop, and they are supposed to know the entire world literature, because that's the syllabus of net. So again, according to what kind of shop they have, the interviewer is going to ask the questions. The candidates who are only PhD, they are not net qualified. They have a specialization about one author or one theory or only one discipline. They are not much exposed to the world literature. So definitely they are not going to waste their time asking questions about Nigerian, Australian, Canadian, and German literature. So they are very aware about what kind of shop you have, what kind of product I have to buy from your shop. So I hope you might have got a clear-cut idea. The next question is, what kind of personality traits they are looking for? Or those who get 27 marks, what kind of quality they have, what they tell in the answer. See, the answer has to be very, very clear, crisp, and it should not be making a shortcut. Because generally in interview, they want to be asking any short answer question, any one-word question, any one-sentence question. The question will always be an open-ended on which the answer can be given for 30 minutes or to 1 hour to 2 hours. But how concise you can make, how clear idea you can produce and finish it up your answer in 1 to 2 minutes or maybe maximum to 2.5 minutes. That they are looking for. How simply you can clarify any concept. If you are asked what's the dissociation of sensibility, or what is objective correlative, or what is touchstone method, how simply you can clarify the concept, what kind of example you can give in front of the commission. Because these are the things which are not tested in your written exam. Your clarifying a skill, your understanding a skill, you're taking examples. So these are the things you have to produce in front of the commission in the interview. So presentation of the idea is more important than carrying the idea. Obviously, if you don't have the knowledge, you won't get the confidence. So knowledge has to be there. But how you present the knowledge is more important. So you need to learn the presentation skills. You can ask any of your professor or maybe your friend to judge you. You can go for mock interviews to find out what kind of drawbacks you have. What are those areas where need to improve? Because there is always a scope of improvement. Nobody is perfect. Even I am not perfect. There are so many hamarshia in myself. So what kind of the basic requirements which is required by an interviewer that you must possess those things? Because if you're going to sell something in the market, you have a shop, So definitely you'll need to decorate your shop. You'll have to fit your lightings inside the shop so that it will attract the customer. Without preparation, you cannot attract the customer. Customer will be going to some other shop, which is more attractive than. Okay, the next question that was asked is, what are the those information that the commission members aware about myself? That's a very important question. What kind of information they have before I approach them for the interview? Okay, so they are not aware even about your name. They are not even aware about your marks obtained in your written exam. They will have only one information, that is about your qualification and your PhD details. If you are a PhD candidate, if you are a net qualified, all those information will get filled before you approach them. You'll be given some code numbers and you will be called with that code only. Even you want to be able to know what's the name of the interviewer. There won't be any nameplates on their table. So just to maintain transparency, these all things are maintained. So don't have a preconceived idea that they are already aware about my written marks. So accordingly, they will be giving you the marks in the interview. That's nothing like that. I have seen in the previous advertisement, somebody has posted a PDF in the group. I have seen that there are few candidates who have scored even 60% marks, but in interview, they are getting only 15 or 16. And they are the candidate who has got 50% marks, but they are getting 27 in the interview. So that's possible. So from this example, one thing is very clear, that if you have a good knowledge, you'll be getting good marks. This is a misconception. If it is so, the one who had got 60% marks must be the topper in the interview as well. But that's not the fact. The fact is how presentable you are, how you can sell yourself to the commission. That's more important. You should know your configuration, your qualities, your strength, your weaknesses. If I ask any one of you to tell me your 10 strengths, you might start fumbling. If I ask you to tell your 5 weaknesses, you might start looking here and there, because you're not prepared for that. Although we cannot expect questions, what question is going to be asked in interview, but one thing is very sure, that maximum question will be about yourself. So my suggestion to you is know yourself, introspect yourself, find out your strengths and weaknesses. The next question was, should you contact any broker for good marks in the interview? Okay. So when you reach the interview commission for your interview, there will be many brokers, dalals roaming around, who will approach you that if you give them 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, they will be making sure that you'll be getting 27, 28 marks. Maybe. What I have heard, generally, I find this kind of things all around. So simply, I give you one suggestion, that if you know the person very well, or if you have a personal approach to the interviewer or to the commission, you're very personal to them, then you may do whatever you want. But my suggestion, if you're not aware about anyone over there, kindly don't get trapped. It's just a trapping technique, especially when the government is so transparent nowadays. UP government, so powerful and transparent. Everyone is having a fear of losing their job if they are being caught in any of the scam of such kind. So definitely, no commission, no member will like such kind of things. So my personal advice: don't get trapped. Actually, what happens when you get 26, 27 marks, the dalal or the broker will say that you have got those marks because I approached them personally. That's not the fact. You get your marks because of your performance, not because of some broker or dalal, and your money will go. So my simple suggestion is kindly be honest. Don't get trapped into all those things. Don't spoil your money. And even if you got selected after giving those money, you will never be satisfied throughout your life. You want to be able to lead an honorable life, because you'll always have a kind of thing in your mind that you are here because of you have paid those 3 lakhs or 5 lakhs of rupees. It will create a kind of self-hatredness rather than self-love. So if you are an honest candidate, if you know that you are not going to beg anything, rather you are going to grab your position because you possess it, you have the power to get that position. So don't think of stealing something or begging something. You go and grab it if you have the potential. Okay, the next question was, what is the first thing to do after entering inside the interview hall? So when you enter inside the hall, the first thing you need to do is basic etiquettes like greeting, like saying namaste or good morning or good afternoon, good evening. So basically, you may choose to greet the chairman, who always remains in the center. The moment you enter inside, you ask for the permission. May I come in, sir? The one who is answering is the chairman. So you'll automatically know that this is the chairman, and you are especially greeting the Ayog, not a particular member. So generally, I have seen that we are only greeting to the chairman. Chairman means you have greeted everyone, but look at into the eyes of all the commission members. That's the kind of respect you give when you greet. If you choose to greet everyone, you may do. There is no such defined rule. But we are there to greet the commission, not a member over there. And after that, you are supposed to stand there until you are asked to sit. So just don't enter inside and sit down on the chair until you are asked to do so. You have to be very, very alert. There are also some misconception whether you need to sit from the left side or from the right side. See, there is no such fixed rules. But what I generally have observed that if you sit from the left side, it builds up a kind of confidence. There have been a lot of researches going on about this, but I'm not very sure. I can't give any authentic answer. What is the psychological reason behind that? But what I have read in many research papers that the interviewee who sits, who takes a left wheel and then go and sit, so he build up a kind of confidence. I don't know how. But you may choose your own way from which side to sit. And when you are sitting, don't move the chair. Generally, the candidates take the chair according to their own comfortable position. You're not supposed to even touch the chair. Just go and sit. Sit to the full. Don't sit on the half chair. And don't even lean on the chair. Just go sit there exactly straight like a soldier. And keep your legs parallel on the ground. Don't move your legs. Don't move your hands. Keep your legs on your thighs. Keep your hands on your thighs. And just wait for their instruction. So this type of alertness you need to develop. This is the kind of practice you need to develop before you approach for the interview. The next question that was asked to me was, what kind of attire you should have for the interview. See, the attire for the interview differs from place to place and job to job. And every interview is unique in itself. We cannot compare one interview with another. We can't compare UPHS interview with UPSC interview, or I cannot compare UPHS with PGT TGT interviews. All are having different structure. Rather, basic idea is say to inquire about the candidate. So here that the attire has to be very, very formal. You are not going to attract or getting married with the commission members. So don't try to be very attractive. Whether it's a male candidate or a female candidate. If you are a male candidate, you may wear your normal dress, but it should be clean, well pressed. Your shoes should be shiny. And I'll suggest you not to wear a new dress. Because when we wear a new dress, it's not generally comfortable. Like you are wearing a new shoe. It will create lots of uncomfort in your legs. You want to be, your entire attention will be on the shoes rather than on the interview. So if you are feeling to wear some new clothes, buy a month before and start wearing that, so that you will feel comfortable on the day of interview. Don't wear any new dress. If you're a female candidate, you may choose any Indian culture dress in which you generally wear. If you are wearing a sari, you may wear the same. If you are wearing a salwar kameez, you can go for that. Never try to imitate others, that so and so a candidate is wearing sari, I'll also wear sari. No, that's not required. The basic idea, you should feel comfortable. And the second is, it should be well, neatly cleaned, neatly pressed. You are not supposed to apply any makeup on your face, especially female candidates, because you are not going to impress them with your attraction, with your beauty. Rather, you are going to attract them with your knowledge and personality. But yes, the basic etiquettes has to be there. You may go there with your tied hair, or you may opt for open hair if your hairs are small. So every act of yours makes a lot of difference in the commission. And when you go there, don't try to be very over smart, or don't try to be gung. Be natural, so that the assessment will be very easy for them when you are natural. The basic idea is how you present yourself. Presentation. Always keep this word in your mind. Presentation. Very, very, very important. When you're going to buy a mobile, when you go to buy a mobile in the shop, and shopkeeper gives you mobile which is wrapped in a newspaper, which is packed in a newspaper, without having any brand, without having any configuration, will you buy that mobile? No. You will purchase those mobile which packaging is very attractive. The first requirement, all the configurations are given on the first page, on the top of the packaging. How it performs, how the mobile works will only be known to you when you bring it to your home. So how the company is projecting those phones to you in the form of a packaging will decide whether the mobile will be sold or not. You are a mobile. How you maintain your packaging, how you present yourself. When you go to a mobile shop, what is the first thing you ask? What kind of memory it has? What's the screen size? What's the internal memory? What's the processor? What kind of Gorilla Glass it has? What kind of battery it has? When you assure that, yes, you have all those configuration, then only you will select that mobile. Similarly, the commission members are also having some fixed criteria. Whether you are a loyal, you are an honest, you are incredible, you have a good knowledge of the subject, you are honest, then only they are going to select you. But the fact is that majority of candidates are not aware about their strengths. Majority of the candidates are not aware about themselves, what kind of qualities they have. If the commission is simply asking, tell me the 5 qualities of a good teacher, it's not a general question, although it looks like a general question, but it is very, very personal question. You are going to tell only those qualities which either you have or you are willing to have. So whatever the qualities you tell, he is well aware that you possess that quality or you have a strive for that quality. So every question is connected personally. They are sitting there, the interviewers are sitting there, they're having a vast experience of conducting 500,000 interviews. The moment you open your mouth, they'll be able to identify what you are going to speak. 20 minutes is more than enough. They can judge you in 5 minutes. They can simply ask, just introduce yourself and they can find out everything. Whether you have mucked up the answer or there is a truth inside your answer. Generally, it is viewed by me especially that some of the interviews getting concluded in just 5 minutes. That's what we call a premature interview. The reason behind that is the interviewee is not replying the complete answer to any question. Like if I ask a question, what do you mean by the poetical idea of Wordsworth? And you just say, sir, poetical idea of Wordsworth was given by William Wordsworth in his preface to Lyrical Ballads. And your answer is over. So do you want the commission members to ask again, okay, what is the definition of poetry according to William Wordsworth? Are they so dumb that they're going to ask every single question to inquire about one particular question? No. They will just simply leave and move to the next question. And the next question they may ask, what do you mean by the objective correlative? You simply say, sir, objective correlative was given by T.S. Eliot in his Hamlet and his problem. Was it the answer to the question? No. Actually, they wanted to know what concept you understand about this. And you expect he will ask second question. Okay, explain what is objective correlative. Do you think he will ask the same question again? No. You want to be repeating the questions again and again for you to inquire. It is you who has to judge, who has to think that if the question is being asked, I have to connect nose to tail and give everything which is essential as part of the answer. If you are doing so, if you are explaining objective correlative, you are taking a 1 minute or 2, definitely your interview may be extended to half an hour. That will be the complete completion of the interview. So kindly take the interview very, very serious. It's not a joke and it's not a talk between two people. You have to be very, very prepared, especially about yourself and also about the content of English literature which you are going to appear for. Okay, the next question. I'm taking a lot many time to explain the answers. The last question that I have received is, what kind of question will be asked from literature side? See, they are going to ask the literature question of a graduate level student. Like if you are a graduate, what kind of knowledge you should have? They are not going to extend that level. They may ask you the basic ideas. What do you understand by odes? What do you understand by poetry? What is a novel? What is a novella? What's the difference between novel and novella? What's the difference between short story and a novel? What is the difference between fiction and non-fiction? What's the difference between play and drama? What do you mean by sonnet? What do you mean by ode? Very simple questions. Majority of the questions comes from the literary criticism and theory because that's the area where lots of concept lies. So whether it's a British literary criticism or literary theories, you should have the clear-cut concept of all those terms. Like Mikhail Bakhtin, polyphony, heteroglossia, chronotop. So all those terms you must know. So as a candidate of graduation or post-graduation, that's the basic idea you should have. They are not going to ask you any theory to explain in detail. They may not ask you to explain the discourse theory of Michel Foucault because it's not a research interview. Yes, if you are going to appear for your PhD interview and you are taking Michel Foucault as your theorist, definitely such kind of question may arise. But here they are going to ask a basic question. So I just suggest you to go through any book which talks about the basic literary terms like M.H. Abrahams and all, and get a clear-cut concept. Look at the concept with the help of examples. If you're explaining any term like unification of sensibility, dissociation of sensibility, can you explain this term with help of an example? Ask yourself. Can you explain the term willing suspension of disbelief with help of an example? When you explain anything with example, you are giving a message to the interviewer, I am having a clear-cut concept of this. So always try to take the help of examples. It needs a practice. Preferably, I suggest you to go for some mock interviews by anyone. It may be your family member, it may be your brother, father, or it may be your professor, or it may be your principal, or you may take help of any qualified instructor who knows something about English literature. Please don't approach to those people who are not connected with literature, because there are so many people in the market who are giving training and coaching for the interviews, but they are not specific to literature. Like they are giving training in general. So they might not be aware about your subject. And you go to the interview with a preconceived idea that, yes, I am going to be asked with this question. It is possible that whatever the question you prepare, none of them will be asked. It is possible. But yes, as I said, that interview is self-directing. Like you need to learn the tactics. What you are supposed to tell, that question has to come out from the same words. So kindly make diplomatic planning of the interview and try to perform better in those 30 minutes. It is exactly like wearing a true mask to your face, like in the words of Carl Jung, who shared a persona, theory of persona, where he says that every individual in the society wears a kind of mask, and it is very difficult to identify what is there inside him. So you try to wear a real mask. But yes, the mask should be worn in such a way that it should show your true personality, not a fake personality. Nothing should be hidden. You know, to hide one secret, to hide one anything fake, you may need to tell 100 more fake things. So always try to be honest, truthful, and what you are, present in the same fashion. That's my advice to all of you. Okay, so now my questions that I've received in the WhatsApp are over, and now the session is open to all of you. You can clarify any of if you have any of your doubt or any query.